It's now week 7 of what's become one of the most explosive celebrity trials in recent memory. Sean Diddy Combs, once seen as untouchable in the world of music and fashion, is now staring down the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. The courtroom is tense, packed with reporters, legal analysts, and spectators, all waiting to see how this ends. On the stand is Special Agent Joseph Cerciello from Homeland Security Investigations. He wasn't part of the original probe, but was brought in to help interpret a mountain of digital evidence: hotel bookings, travel records, payments, and dozens of encrypted messages. Prosecutor Maureen Kamei isn't wasting time. Every question she throws is precise, sharp, and intended to reveal just how tightly orchestrated Diddy's alleged secret life may have been. But what's keeping everyone locked in their seats isn't just the charges, it's the disturbing evidence that's now being made public for the first time. And it all started with a single text, one that hinted at something far more twisted. It started as a routine hotel arrangement, until investigators read between the lines. A text exchange between Diddy and his chief of staff, Christina Coram, mentioned the Waldorf Astoria in Las Vegas. But this wasn't just a luxury booking. It was described as a setup for something called a freakoff, or hotel night, a coded term that prosecutors claim refers to a carefully planned sex session, one allegedly involving a male escort. The phrase freakoff wasn't just disturbing, it was vague, clinical, and designed to stay under the radar. But it didn't. The term immediately raised red flags, and when jurors were shown the messages in court, you could feel the energy in the room shift. This wasn't just about parties or wild nights. It pointed to something calculated, organized, and deeply unsettling. But the texts weren't even the most shocking part, because what came next had to be seen to be believed, and even then only by the jury. When the courtroom lights dimmed and headsets were handed to the jury, it was clear something serious was about to happen. No one else, not the press, not the public, was allowed to see what played out on those private screens. Only the jurors, sealed off by silence and flickering monitors, witnessed what prosecutors claim are video recordings of the so-called freakoff nights. In those videos, according to reports, was Jane, the pseudonym for one of Diddy's former girlfriends and alleged victims. She had already testified earlier in the trial, but now, her words were being matched with disturbing visual evidence. The footage reportedly showed explicit encounters in hotel rooms. But beyond what was happening on screen, it was the alleged power dynamic: who arranged the night, who paid for the room, and how the people involved were treated, that prosecutors emphasized. No one knows exactly what the jury saw, but based on their reactions, stiffened posture, hands covering mouths, it's clear the impact was real. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get darker, another name resurfaced, and this time the message she sent might have said it all. Amid the flood of digital evidence, one message stood out like a scream in the dark. It came from Cassie Ventura, Diddy's longtime partner and one of the central accusers in the case. In a text that's now been entered into evidence, she told him, "You treat me like a hooker." 7 words, brutal, direct, and impossible to ignore. This wasn't a throwaway comment in a lover's quarrel. Prosecutors argued it reflected a deeper pattern, one of control, manipulation, and blurred boundaries between affection and exploitation. And it wasn't just this text. Cassie has alleged years of abuse behind closed doors, claims that Diddy has vehemently denied. But for jurors hearing this in context, with the videos, the hotel bookings, and the testimonies stacking up, the message hit hard. It turned what could have been seen as an eccentric lifestyle into something far more disturbing. And just when the prosecution thought they had laid it all out, someone else stepped forward, someone who had been behind the scenes the entire time. Brendan Paul wasn't a headline name. He wasn't a victim. He wasn't a celebrity. He was just a personal assistant, hired to handle errands, manage details, and stay invisible. But when he took the stand, the entire tone of the trial shifted, because what he revealed was the kind of inside knowledge only someone on the payroll would ever see. Paul worked closely with Diddy from late 2022 until March 2024. In court, he admitted under oath that he was instructed, on multiple occasions, to purchase drugs for the music mogul, thousands of dollars worth, all allegedly requested directly or indirectly by Diddy himself. Paul even confessed that he was arrested in March at a Miami airport with cocaine in his possession, but said nothing to the authorities about who it really belonged to. His reason: loyalty. But that loyalty didn't stop there. Paul testified that he was often responsible for setting up and cleaning up after hotel nights involving Diddy and Jane, the same woman jurors saw in the videos. He claimed Jane appeared to be a willing participant. But under cross-examination, it was clear the jury was being asked to consider, was she willing or just conditioned to obey? He called working for Diddy military-like, described assistants as a unit, said that Diddy wasn't someone you could just say no to. And when asked how he feels about his former boss now, he paused, then simply said, "It's complicated." But the court wasn't finished digging, because next they uncovered a paper trail, one that showed how much damage had really been done, and not just to people. When jurors were shown Diddy's hotel bills, they weren't looking at ordinary expenses. They saw room charges stacked with outrageous fees, thousands of dollars for cleanup, repairs, and damage. These weren't charges for minibar items or late checkouts. These were costs linked to destruction, shattered furniture, stained carpets, broken mirrors, and other damages so extreme they raised eyebrows even in luxury suites. To the prosecution, these weren't just numbers. They were clues. Physical evidence of nights gone violently off the rails. The same nights where witnesses say Jane was present. The same nights Paul was asked to clean up. And the same nights that were supposedly part of Diddy's so-called freakoffs. Prosecutors argued that behind the glitz and excess was a darker truth, a lifestyle built on power, intimidation, and indulgence without consequences. And the receipts, they spoke volumes. No one spends thousands covering up a quiet night. But here is the chilling part. This was just the backdrop. The financial damage was nothing compared to what was happening to the people inside those rooms. And now, with the prosecution nearly done presenting its case, the full weight of the charges is about to come crashing down. The courtroom drama isn't just about shocking messages or private videos. It's about 5 criminal counts that could erase everything Sean Diddy Combs built over the last 3 decades. The most serious, racketeering conspiracy. It's the kind of charge normally reserved for organized crime, meaning the government believes Diddy didn't just act alone. They're alleging a system, a network, a long-term plan involving assistants, enablers, and cover-ups designed to control, traffic, and exploit. Then come the 2 counts of trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Each one carries a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years and a maximum of life. Prosecutors claim that behind the fame, Diddy used his power to trap women in situations they couldn't escape, even when it seemed like they'd agreed to be there. Finally, there are 2 counts of transporting individuals across state lines for the purpose of prostitution. That charge alone could bring up to 10 years, but paired with everything else, it paints a picture of someone who turned luxury travel into a tool for abuse. Diddy has denied all the allegations, every single one. He has pleaded not guilty and insists the accusations are nothing more than a coordinated attack designed to destroy his legacy. But inside that courtroom, with witness after witness stepping forward, the narrative is shifting. And the most surprising move might be the one Diddy doesn't make. The prosecution has nearly finished laying out its case. After weeks of explosive testimony, private footage, and a digital trail that spans years, they say the picture is complete. But now it's Diddy's turn, or at least his legal team's. His attorneys have hinted their defense will be brief, just 2 days. And perhaps most telling of all, Diddy himself is not expected to testify. No public statement. No personal defense from the man at the center of it all. Whether that's a strategic move or fear of cross-examination, no one can say for sure. If the timeline holds, closing arguments could begin as early as Thursday. That means the jury will soon be handed the final decision in a case that could either shatter a legend or expose one of the biggest cover-ups in entertainment history. And outside the courtroom, the world is watching, fans are divided, comment sections are in chaos, rumors are still spreading. Because in a trial this massive, even the silence feels deafening. If even half of what's been revealed in this courtroom is true, we may be witnessing one of the most dramatic downfalls in music history. From Grammy stages to federal courtrooms, Sean Diddy Combs has gone from icon to accused in a matter of months. But the trial isn't just about one man. It's about power, silence, and how far someone will go to protect their empire. As the jury prepares to decide his fate, the question isn't just whether Diddy is guilty. It's whether the world is ready to hear the verdict. What do you believe? Is this a calculated takedown or a truth that was buried for far too long? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to follow this case all the way to the end, make sure to subscribe, because this story is far from over.